Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching Reva Energu, who plays on the Russian server in his Indien Panzer. This is the tier 8 German medium tank and it's pretty well rounded. It's a bit like a Pershing in a way. The Pershing is one of the great all-rounders of World of Tanks. There's nothing that sucks about the Indien Panzer. One thing that is surprising about this tank is its rate of fire is fairly decent for a vehicle that has a 90mm, because this doesn't use the standard 88 that you would have on some of the German medium tanks like the Panther II, or alternatively on the premium Panther 88. And I'm not sure, I guess even a Mutz, does a Mutz use a 90? I probably think the Mutz is using a 90, because let's be honest, the Mutz is basically a premium Indien Panzer, right? With a few differences here and there. Now, what is great about this tank is the rate of fire, 8.33 rounds a minute, which gives this vehicle a flat DPM of 2000. Combine this with a decent aim time of 0.33, 2.3 seconds aim time, everything is fairly good about the Indien Panzer. Also, the armor on this tank, at least frontally, is fairly decent. We're talking about, and even on the side actually, I didn't even know that, the Indien Panzer's side armor is 90, as it is on the front of the turret. It's basically 90-90 all around the front and on the sides, with 45 at the rear. And so this means that if you just angle this kind of rate of the Indien Panzer and they hit your upper plate, then sometimes you're going to be doing good. And furthermore, you know, the standard kind of 10 degrees of gun depression that you had on a tier 8 medium tank does allow you the flexibility to get where you need to go and be able to work when you get there. Now, Reva has managed to get above an OHO here, and just as he manages to turn the turret around, he pulls back and focuses attention on the tier 7 German heavy tanks that will be trying to take the cap circle here on mines. Now, in this kind of a matchup, you can be a little bit more cheeky. Sure, when you have your tier 8 mediums in your tier 9 games and your tier 10 games, their armor doesn't count quite for as much, and also their DPM is a lot more lackluster. Quite often tier 9 or tier 10 tanks were starting to pack 2,500, maybe even 3,000 DPM on some of the TDs especially. When you compare that to the 2,000 that the Indien Panzer has, then you have to be a little bit more careful and try and pick your shots to be able to trade efficiently. And Reva is doing exactly this, as he puts a couple of rounds into the Tiger P, but I don't think he realizes that there was a challenger behind him. And we see that the Tiger P whizzes a shell just over his head, but the artillery is not wanting him to engage this tier 6 Czechoslovakian medium tank and the tier 7 British tank destroyer. Oh, not quite. Oh, there you go, a shot into the side, but this is dangerous now. His fuel tanks are damaged, but luckily he is using a fire extinguisher on this vehicle. One into the side of the challenger's turret, who turns his turret around, but it doesn't look like he might have enough gun elevation to engage him here, but it doesn't matter because the T-34-85 on his team finishes him off. Having put a shot into the Skoda T-25 there, he wasn't quite able to help the charioteer on his own team to survive, but he bombs it around the corner and finishes him off, picking up his second kill of the game so far. Not a bad roll for a tier 8 medium tank on the top of the hill here on mines. And he's picked up an impressive amount of damage. This game has been going for just over 3 minutes and he is on 3k, which means that he's pretty much firing about half the time. Well, half of his reload time. Not quite 70%, guys, is the reference there if anyone gets it from Twitch. But half the time, considering that his base DPM is 2,000. Then again, you do have to take into account things like brothers in arms, whether he's using a gun rammer, vents, all of that kind of good stuff. And I think he probably is using a gun rammer, considering his view range is not that impressive. And this vehicle does have 380 meters base, so it doesn't look like he's using coated optics, unless there's some kind of a bug there. However, even though Reva has managed to pick up a decent amount of damage and he's secured his third kill of the game, it's still neck and neck stuff. In fact, it's not neck and neck. His team is down by 2 tanks. Oh, that pesky Stritzfang manages to penetrate his turret right above the mantlet with a premium APCR round entering the tier 8 German medium, and the artillery is just not letting him do what he wants to do right now. And the Stritzfang tries to hold him in place, so he repairs his tracks, comes around the corner, whacks one in. Even though his crew was done, that doesn't make a difference. But now, a full health tier 8 German turreted tank destroyer, the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger, comes around the corner. Now he fires a high explosive round there, but these low caliber high explosive rounds don't have the highest penetration, but then again the Borsig doesn't have the highest armor, right? Will that one go in? Yes it will, 362. Decent roll there, way better than the 240 average you'd be doing with the armor piercing rounds or the APCR rounds, but this is still very tense. We hear the Lorraine narrowly missing him, maybe thinking that Reva was going to be able to reverse a little bit more there. Comes around the corner, puts one into his tracks, sets him on fire, Great result. It doesn't look like that Borsig is using a fire extinguisher. Will he fully cook? No, not quite. So he has to finish him off with a cheeky shot to the top left-hand corner of that turret. Well, at least top left-hand corner when he's facing. It'll be the top right-hand of the Borsig as the Borsig stands. Now he comes around. Will he be able to engage the Tiger P? He snipes at the Cupola. Oh, not the best roll, but certainly not a bad one. 2-2-2. Up to 5,400, well, 5,300 damage, sorry, now. In the first 5 minutes of this game, what an incredible performance we've had so far. Things have no doubt been going well for him, but Reva has also been managing to put himself into a position to be able to have that good luck, and that is quite often what we see in these kind of mammoth replays. Oh, there's the Lorraine that was plaguing him earlier, and luckily, well, shall I say this time, no tunnel vision as he does spot the Stura Mill bombing his way around the corner. And he finds himself in a 2 versus 6 situation. A great shot there into the Stura Mill's tracks, also damaging the vehicle. He uses his repair kit and he turns his tank about to face Reva. But luckily now, with the artillery taken care of, he can take his time. He can wait along this flank. But I tell you who can't take his time and who can't wait. That is the artillery. The ISU 152 and a medium tank, I guess it's going to be the VK3001, or it looks like it's the T69 actually, with the outline about to kill self-propelled gun. Oh, goodness! Okay, that was lucky. The OI didn't kill him. Guys, look at the bomb left-hand corner. He is on 1 hit point right now, and he is about to go 1 versus 5 with 1 single hit point. Will he be able to get through this one? Well, he's up to a blooming good start as he tracks the Stura Mill before he comes around the corner. Remember, he used his repair kit about a minute ago, so it's not going to be quite coming off cooldown for the next few seconds, and that allows Reva to be able to finish him off and turn his 1 versus 5 into a 1 versus 4. And one thing I like about this 1 versus 5 as well is there are top tier tanks on the enemy team. It's not like they're all artillery and all bottom tier vehicles. And the fact he's on a hit point, wow, even a high explosive round splashing anywhere near his vehicle is going to be taking him out. Now there's no doubt he did get lucky there. Oh, I was thinking maybe a crash would be coming there. Tiger P doesn't quite know where he's gone. He manages to get the jump on him there. That was impressive. Bold play to slip down the slope. The Tiger P was still napping, thinking that he was above, and he shuts him down. And now he goes in one direction and then turns his tank the other way. I guess he's trying to bait the enemies into thinking that he was going south round the hill of mines, but instead he's going to turn around, go towards the north, and more often than not, enemies will think that you're still going in the direction that you were last spotted in. So maybe he gets a chance to distract the ISU or distract the VK into thinking he's going south, and that means that he can isolate and engage this tier 8 American auto-loading medium tank in the form of the T69. Oh, that would have been a glorious kill there in between the hull and the turret of the T29, but it wasn't to be. The T69 misses, Reva doesn't, secures his 10th kill of the game and immediately turns his vehicle around because, to all intents and purposes, that's where their next tank will be coming from. Great decision. The VK unable to get a shot into his back, and he shuts him down. 11 kills now. 1 versus 5 has become a 1 versus 1, but that ISU 152 on the enemy team has had a decent gun. He's on a top gun. So this is a battle right now between somebody who has secured themselves a Pools medal and somebody who has secured themselves a top gun. 1 hit point in it. We don't know how much the ISU 152 was on. The last time he was spotted, I think he was on half hit points. Will he be on any less from the artillery? Reva has an APCR round loaded. He clutch shots. The ISU misses. Reva misses as well, but he has the definitive rate of fire advantage. And that must have been a really good feeling at the end of the game when you know you have that extra shot on your opponents after he has missed you, and you can take down that 1 versus 5, secure your 12th kill, and pick up 7,200 damage in a tier 8 medium tank. So what a result here for Reva in his Indien Panzer, and for it he picks up his 3rd mark of excellence. Awesome result, in addition to the Kolobanov's medal for standing alone against at least 5 opponents, in this case on 1 single hit point, a Pools medal for his 12 kills, a Defender for protecting that cap circle so well for 100 base defense points, and a High Caliber for 7,196 damage dealt over 5 times what anyone else on his team was able to achieve. This truly was a monster carry and one of the most well-rounded tier 8 medium tanks, and he still makes a fairly marginal profit, but considering what he had to achieve here, I don't think he even cares. So Reva, congratulations to you, and Spasibo Balshoi for uploading this on the whatreplays.ru website. I hope you don't mind that after I saw it, I really wanted to share it with the English-speaking community. And what is it about these Ukrainians and these Russians that just make them such awesome tankers? Well, then again, having been to Belarus multiple times and even to Moscow once, it's in their blood. Either way, I hope all of you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Saturday, it's time for another Tech Tree Showcase on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this one is going to be extra special. And no, it's not because it's on a Saturday rather than a Sunday. It's because I'm currently in Cologne at Gamescom, and fittingly, it's going to be a German heavy tank showcase live from Cologne, all the way up to the E100, which was my first ever tier 10 vehicle. And due to that, will always have a warm place in my heart. And if you've never seen one of my Tech Tree showcases before, they're miniature tank reviews from tier 1 all the way up to tier 10, so you can see if it's a tree that you're interested in grinding, or more likely, maybe pick up some tips and tricks in vehicles you already have. And so really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby live from Gamescom. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.